Have you ever noticed how your mind suddenly goes silent the moment someone asks you a simple question? Or how your heartbeat spikes when you're about to speak in a group, even though you rehearse the words 100 times in your head? And there's something strange about it, because you're not shy with everyone, and you're not quiet all the time. You freeze only when it matters, only when the people around you feel important, intimidating, or capable of judging you. And that raises one question that shapes your entire inner world. Why do you freeze up in social situations, especially when you care about what people think? You try to appear calm, but inside there's a storm you're holding back. You try to make eye contact, but your mind is calculating every micro-expression. You try to speak, but suddenly the sentence collapses in your throat. It's not that you don't know how to talk. It's that your brain is convinced something is at stake. You walk into a room and instantly read the energy, scan the faces, evaluate who is safe and who isn't. Your nervous system reacts before your personality does. And even though you tell yourself to relax, your body whispers a different story. Your mind starts preparing for rejection, even when no one is rejecting you. You start imagining critiques no one actually said. You replay the moment before it even happens. What if I sound weird? What if they think I'm boring? What if I say one wrong word and the whole impression collapses? And here's the thing, you're not imagining this response. Your brain is doing exactly what it learned to do years ago. Somewhere in your childhood, connection and judgment became tangled together. Maybe you grew up in a home where you had to be careful with your words, where being too loud, too emotional, or too much led to criticism. Maybe you learned early that your safest strategy was to stay small, stay quiet, stay watchful. Maybe your nervous system learned that approval is fragile, unpredictable, something you have to earn instead of something you deserve automatically. So now, even as an adult, your brain treats every social moment like a performance, not a conversation. And this is where it gets interesting. Your freeze response isn't weakness, it's protection. It's your brain trying to keep you safe from humiliation, rejection, or loss of belonging. For some people, this protective instinct becomes social anxiety. For others, it becomes introversion shaped by fear rather than preference. For you, maybe it's that moment where your personality shrinks the second eyes are on you. You want to speak but your body locks up. You want to join the conversation but your mind blanks out. You want to be yourself, but self-consciousness hijacks your entire system. And the deeper truth is this. You don't freeze because you're weak, awkward, or broken. You freeze because your brain still believes that being judged is dangerous. It still believes that being misunderstood means losing connection. It still believes that one wrong moment can change everything. But let's look closer. Freezing in social situations isn't about the situation itself. It is about the internal battle between the person you are and the person you think you need to be. You want to show your real self, but you also want to be accepted. You want to speak freely, but you don't want to be evaluated. You want to feel relaxed, but you fear being misread. You want to connect, but connection feels risky. And this tension, this split between longing and fear creates a psychological choke point. Your body goes still, your thoughts scatter. Your voice fades. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you're trying too hard to say it perfectly. And here's the truth. Perfection is the enemy of presence. When your mind tries to calculate the perfect thing to say, you disconnect from the moment. When you disconnect from the moment, your anxiety fills the silence. When anxiety fills the silence, freezing becomes the only option your nervous system trusts. But what if the real issue isn't your ability to socialize, but the pressure you put on yourself to get it right? What if you're not socially awkward, you're just self-protective? What if the freeze is your brain's way of saying, wait, is this safe for the real me? And when you think about safety, psychology shows something important. People who freeze often grew up with conditional acceptance, love that depended on behavior, approval that depended on performance, belonging that depended on being useful, agreeable, or quiet. So now your brain believes you must earn your place in every room. And when you believe you must earn it, your body reacts with fear instead of authenticity. But here's the gentle truth. You don't need to earn your space. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to perform to be accepted. You are allowed to exist in a room without being perfect. You are allowed to speak without rehearsing. You are allowed to take up emotional space. Breaking the freeze doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from releasing the pressure, from letting go of the imaginary audience, from realizing that most people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you as harshly as you judge yourself, from allowing yourself to show up imperfectly, awkwardly, humanly. And something beautiful happens when you do. Your nervous system relaxes, your voice returns, and your personality expands into the space it was once afraid to enter. You start to enjoy conversations instead of surviving them. You start to speak without overthinking. You start to feel safe in your own skin. The freeze response fades not when you become confident, but when you stop demanding perfection. So the next time you feel yourself shutting down, remember this: nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is trying to protect you using old strategies that you no longer need. You're safe now, you're growing now. You're allowed to take your place in the world without shrinking. And every time you choose presence over perfection, you're rewriting the story your childhood once taught you. This is how you unfollow fear. This is how you build self-trust. This is how you finally unfreeze.